Let's start with this. This was powerful. This was Nina Turner at the rally in Queens with Bernie and AOC. Nina Turner is probably my favorite American politician. And, you know, I've said this before. The reaction to her drawing these obvious distinctions between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, for that matter, is so telling. That people are whining about this and bothered about this shows that some people don't understand that this is an election and a race, and you talk about the differences. That's why people say, like, you know, try to draw the distinctions from Warren. I mean, honestly, I don't know how to say it sound anything but profoundly condescending when I talk about it, because it's like I don't understand how people can sort of build up such a fantasy scenario. This is a combat. This is a conflict. They're not running together. They're running against each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe that will change next summer. Maybe there will be a deal cut. Right now, it's a campaign. And if anything, the Sanders campaign has been, I think, disastrously gentle and nice in not drawing really big distinctions. Two, she lays it out here. And I think the reason that there's such hatred at her is because of, frankly, how profoundly effective she is. This is Nina Turner laying down the truth in Queens.
We got some folks in mainstream and the neoliberal side who really can't understand the difference. But I'm gonna break this down for you. There are many copies. There are people who didn't have the same guts and the same courage as Senator Bernie Sanders to run in 2016. Some people who sat on the sideline when it was hard. There was only one person who stood up to the establishment, and his name is Bernard Sanders. So there are...
That's Walker Bregman.
His name is really Bernard?
Yeah, it's his Wait,
he just doesn't... I mean, I knew that, but for someone to say Bernard, it just sounded like so classé. You know?
Nina's been saying that a lot. Nina's been hitting the Bernard Sanders.
Everyone should hit the Bernard.
I agree.
It's a different person when you say Bernard.
He is Bernard. I just want to say, and look, that's true. Bernard Sanders begged Elizabeth Warren to run against Hillary Clinton. She didn't. He did. He built a movement. And he's putting stuff on the table with foreign policy alone that makes him the choice.
Wait, I just have a question. Like, who could be mad at her? It was a rally, right?
You've not been tuning into a lot of Warren supporters.
I mean, I see it, but I don't understand. This is a rally. Like, what are you supposed to do at a rally? You're supposed to rally the troops.
You're supposed to say that Elizabeth Warren is amazing, and that you apologize for supporting Bernie Sanders and you respect her plans. I think that that's what you're supposed to say.
I mean, she didn't call her expletives. Like, I guess
she also mentioned that Elizabeth Warren voted for Trump's 3 military budgets, which is also true, but obviously incredibly fucked up to bring up. You know, it's a very, I mean, this is, by the way, this is what the professional middle class critique of Warren supporters is. It's not, it's a mind state. I just talked with Adolph Reed. Yes. I read that N+1 piece. I'm sorry, it was ridiculous. Like, oh, well, you critique the professional middle class, but yet many Sanders supporters are professional middle class, managerial class. That's not the point. The point is your mindset. And if your mindset values technocracy over movement and somehow thinks that you can every day on Twitter and social media benefit from vicious, grotesque coverage of Bernie Sanders, and that you erase him and his policy shop every day, and that's totally fine and normal. And then on the flip side, to just merely point out the fact that Bernie Sanders had the courage to take on the Clinton machine and has voted for global humanity and Warren hasn't, that somehow is aggro, in one person's words. That's what professional managerial mindset is about. It doesn't matter whether or not you write for magazines or not. It's your mindset. And that is the kind of twerpy, double standard, entitled mindset that people are critiquing.
Interesting. No, I just feel like whether you're Team Bernie or Team Warren, it's really hard for you to call yourself a progressive without giving props to Bernie for all that he has done to push the conversation to the left. Like, I just really don't think that you can genuinely call yourself a progressive if you cannot say that out loud. Like, that's just really weird to me.
But isn't it predicated? I mean, he has not just the conversation, he built the movement.
Right. We have to say, hey, the grandfather of progressive movement. Like, whether you are Team Bernie or Team Warren, you really are not being genuine if you cannot give him the accolades for that.
Where are you at with it now? You're 50-50?
I'm still 50-50.
I'm mystified. What? I mean, you were talking about Lebanon. What? Why not go with the real deal?
I knew you were going to do this to me.
I got it.
I knew you were going to do this to me.
I just can't believe it. I don't understand.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I've always been like this in my life. I just can't really, rally for one thing, one person.
Right.
I really can't. Like, I have to look at it all on the table together. So I told you I burned.
I know.
I've been burning. But then I like some of the things that Elizabeth Warren has added to the conversation for me, because I was missing as a member of the Black community. I really did want Bernie to do a little more. But he's getting there. He's getting there.
I'm to say, I mean,
he's getting there.
And even
I'm just not ready to rally
and
yet.
even some of the things that Warren, like, I don't know, like, her mortality plan is sketchy as fuck. Like,
yeah, her education plan is
no, but she centered that whole idea of closing the infant mortality gap, and this is where it does start to get really disturbing to me, because it's like, there's an infant mortality gap because of racism, without a doubt, and also class structure. But then when you look at it, it's like, the biggest dent you can make in that is giving every single human being healthcare.
Healthcare, absolutely.
Her plan talks about, we're going to cut funding for hospitals that underperform. That is the same shit as we're going to cut schools that that is market incentive based bullshit that, if anything, to me, will actually exacerbate the problem. So I don't know. To me, I look at Warren and this is where I do read my Adolph Reed, and it's like, it is not, there's not a single person on the left that is denying the role of race and racism. But then there is another sector where it's like, you can train a candidate like Warren to discourse something, mm-hmm. but then you look at the policy set and it's like, that might actually even increase the problem. Listen, and then, you know what I mean?
This is why I show up here.
Right.
This is why I tune in.
Right. No,
to the conversation, because I need to see those things on the table against each other. And for every policy matter, I have to look at both of them. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, Bernie over here, and then other times I'm like, oh, I like what you just added to the conversation, Elizabeth. And I think that's what keeps pulling me to the center, to the 50-50. It's not quite 50-50, but I think I'm interested in what she has to add to the conversation. But I'm not Biden at all. I can get on this mic and tell you right now that I am not voting for Joe Biden.
I think that's coming apart pretty quickly.
Yes.
It's like uncomfortable to watch, to be honest.
It's super bad. It's super bad. But
do you hate Buttigieg as much as I hate Buttigieg? Because I hate that guy. There's no one I dislike more than Buttigieg.
What bugs me about Buttigieg is his smugness, to be honest. Like, it's probably a personality thing that I can't get with. And then next, his policies. But the smugness just really irks me. It really just gets under my skin. I'm like, dude, how many people voted for you in your town? What was it, like 10,000?
In the college town that
I was like, 10,000
people
people live within 3 blocks of like where I live. Like, that's how many people voted for you to be the mayor, and you just come on, you really do talk to me like you are the president already. So.
Right.
But
it's very entitled. And I mean, and also like he was a terrible mayor. I hope people can maybe not lose sight of that. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.